I'm Apolo Ohno, and welcome to Making Team USA, presented by Xfinity. We're now 8 weeks out from the start of the Milano Cortina Winter Games. This is a new weekly series that I hope provides you with a window into the minds, the sports, and the stories of the athletes looking to join Team USA, the toughest team to make. This week, we're looking at the style sports, snowboarding and freestyle skiing, and speaking with B. Kim and Mac Forehand. Let's dig in. B. Kim, welcome to the show, Making Team USA. It is a pleasure to meet you. I'm a big fan of all of your transitions from the background of where you came from, obviously SoCal, some surf stuff in there, understanding what it looks like to be a superstar in your sport. You're only 18 years old. You don't know this, but 18 years ago, I was on a show called Dancing with the Stars, and I won this show. And it was a lot of pressure, and it was a lot of fun, and my life changed forever. And you are embarking on this opportunity to go and compete, which would be your first Olympic Games and experience. What has your journey been to date? Like, talk to me. What was it like growing up in SoCal? How did you first get involved in the sport? Just like, give me the rundown.
Growing up in SoCal, I was pretty privileged to have the opportunity to do all different sports, whether that be not basic, but ball sports like soccer, softball, that sort of thing. But also the whole skate, surf, snow community. And yeah, it was something I originally just did with my family to kind of all connect and be outside together. And it slowly turned into something a lot more, and not just a weekend thing, into a life thing, a year thing. I definitely saw snowboarding as a competitive thing and saw it as an Olympic sport, as does anyone, I think. But that was my initial goal, and it still is my goal. But I don't focus on it that much, especially with this year coming up. I try to focus just on my own snowboarding so that I don't get too caught up in everything that's going on, because it can be a lot at times. And yeah, hopefully we'll be there in Italy, and it'll be an exciting experience.
Yeah. Have you been at the track in Italy? Have you ever?
No,
Okay.
We haven't had a test event there yet. Due to lack of snow, which is an ongoing issue that continues to show itself. But no, we haven't. I was lucky enough actually in 2018 to go watch
In Pyeongchang.
the Winter Olympics in Korea. And that was like a pretty big jumping off point, I think, for my career and this whole Olympic journey, because I got to watch Chloe Kim win her first Olympic gold in snowboard halfpipe, and that was a pretty big moment for me. Also from SoCal, we have kind of some similarities like that, so it was super special.
Yeah, she's a superwoman. She makes it look very easy, but so do you, right? Like, so do you. Your ability to get into flow state. And I'm curious, like, you travel the world. You've mentioned, before we had this, you were talking about Switzerland and Colorado. Like, what makes an optimal place to compete at? Like, what is it about the snow, the temperature? Like, are there certain specific things that you feel that you perform the best at versus others?
For me, optimal conditions for competing and training is a place that's cold, obviously, so that our pipe is nice and firm. Allows us to really trust the wall and perform our tricks without having to worry about inconsistencies. But in the springtime, we do like a bit of a softer pipe, and that helps for training and falling when it's not as hard. But competition, for example, one of my favorites is Lochs Open, and that's in Lochs, Switzerland. The pipe has a pretty steep pitch, so you're able to gain a lot of speed and go fast and try to go as big as you can. But I think one thing also is the energy of the people in the crowd, and I'm really looking forward to that in Italy. And that's what they have at the Lochs Open and a lot of snowboarding events, is the crowd is standing on the side of the pipe, down at the bottom in the corral. You can hear them sometimes when you're riding if you don't have music in, and that energy definitely is contagious. So that I would say is a big factor.
Oh, yeah, makes sense. Wait, you said if you don't have music in, like when you're competing, do you have music in?
Yeah, a
Oh,
lot of
wait.
snowboarders and most snowboarders,
Okay.
yeah, will train and compete with music in. And I didn't for the longest time up until a training camp literally last month. I was like, I'm going to try to switch some things up as things weren't really working in my training and I wasn't happy with how it's going. And yeah, I decided to train with music. And I think it helps everyone, like you were saying, get into that flow state, block out the noise when you want to, but also be in it at when the timing is right. So yeah.
Okay, and so what's in the B Kim playlist then? Like, is there like a consistent playlist?
Depends on the day, depends how I'm feeling. I know a lot of people listen to like, music that will pump them up and get them excited, but I like to listen to very slow music. So then it keeps my nerves and keeps my calm. I've been listening to a lot of Olivia Dean recently, some Fleetwood Mac, but yeah, it changes.
Wow, you said Fleetwood Mac? Oh,
Yeah.
classic. I like it. I like your
Yeah.
style. This
Yeah.
this is more my age group. This makes a lot of sense. That's very cool. You know, look, growing up and competing in Salt Lake City and spending time in Salt Lake City, there was a time many years ago where snowboarding was literally not allowed on most of these areas. And I think even in some parts of Park City, it's still not allowed. So we're seeing this like huge influx of both interest and style. To me, what you do is the perfect intersection of like culture, style, sport, and like personality. And so, for me, I'm like super jealous because when we were speed skaters, it was very hard to kind of break free from that, right? We're like, number one, no one's running out and like buying speed skating racing outfits, right? Like it's just like not something you do. No one's like, can't wait, oh, I'm gonna go to Aspen or Breckenridge or Vail and I can't wait to go put my speed skates on. It's like, nah, that's just not gonna happen. But for you, you can have your own style, you can have your own fashion, you can have your own thing, and then you can pretty much go, I feel like, wherever you want in the world. You have like the golden ticket. Because you're so dang good at what you do, you can just do this anywhere. And it's like widely respected, right? Like times have changed basically.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, like you were saying, Deer Valley in Park City still doesn't allow snowboarders, only skiers, which I'm biased, so I think that's a little weird. But yeah, like you were saying, snowboarding is, and especially now with the level that it's at and the tricks that the top guys and girls are doing are so insane and such high risk and really take a lot of focus, like mental focus, physical, everything needs to be in tune to be able to land those because it's highly dangerous, obviously.
Yep.
But then also snowboarding is like the culture of snowboarding is so prevalent even at the Olympic level. And I mean, speed skating is pretty cool. I think speed skating is really cool, but
Hell yeah.
like you were saying, yeah, it's more difficult for people to want to go out and get on the ice and go speed skating. But snowboarding, I think, is also so special. The community that it builds, whether you're beginner, first day on hill, or you're at the Olympic professional level, community is always there. Everyone's always there for each other. But I'm sure you can relate to this. I don't know if it is the same in speed skating, but everybody acknowledges how difficult and basically, how difficult it is what we're doing in the half pipe. And so there's this underlying bond that just a respect for everybody. And I'm sure it's the same in speed skating, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same in speed skating. I remember when snowboarding first really came on the scene, and that was kind of like 2002. Right, was when it really started to explode in popularity. My good friend Sean White, back then he was called the Flying Tomato. This guy had like ridiculously long hair. It was red. Sean's a badass. And but even then, it was like very rebel, right? Very rebel-esque, right? It was like these guys that like they didn't feel like they looked like the normal Olympian. They were kind of like super casual and like kind of hang out, like what we typically look at as snowboard culture. But what I was really fascinated to see was this really fast change in like the seriousness of the athletes and how they took the sport. So they started to train, they started to build their body, they took all the necessary recovery methods, and they looked at it like a true professionalized sport. And I think that's where we're seeing like this crazy amount of like impossible tricks that people are doing that like that's what draws us in. We're like, oh my God, that is something that like I can't dream of doing. So, I mean, what has that been like for you?
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying, Sean kind of set the stage for this new era, Chloe as well, for this new era of snowboarding to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a big misconception that snowboarders don't go to the gym.
It
Because
was. I
we're
think it
just,
was. That was like a long time ago. It's not like now
yeah.
people know. Yeah.
Now we go to the gym for training, for endurance, but mainly to take falls, to take slams. And for me, it's been cool to kind of come up in this different age of snowboarding, where it's taken super seriously as a sport. But since there's that underlying feeling of everybody's just there to have fun
Yeah.
and have a good time with their friends and not take it so seriously, there's able to be this super nice balance where, of course, it gets extremely highly competitive, as anything does.
Let's talk about people that you've looked up to in the sport. And I'm familiar, I know kind of what you're going to say because you went to Pyeongchang. But
Yeah.
now that you're on the same field of play, on the same snow, right? Like, walk me through, like, who are those people? And then do you feel like you have your own style now?
Chloe, obviously, is somebody I've looked up to my whole career going into this, and I still do. I honestly look up to every single girl out there right now who's on the World Cup circuit. There's a Japanese rider, Sada, who I look up to a lot with her riding, and her style is something I've tried to emulate in my own riding. Maddie Mastro, another Team USA snowboarder. She is also from Mammoth, from SoCal, and we've become good friends. So I look up to her a lot. She was the first woman to land a double. But everybody's pushing the sport so incredibly fast and so focused on that. It's been insane to be on snow, watching that go down, watching people land tricks that have never been done. It's not something you get to see every day. And it's wild now that, for example, with Chloe and Maddie, I watched them when I was younger at the Olympics, dreaming, hopefully I could be like them someday. Hopefully I could ride with them someday. And now I get to call them my teammates. I get to call them friends, people who've shown me the ropes in snowboarding and life and all of it. And yeah, it's just so special, especially, all that we hopefully get to go to Italy together.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right. I love that. All right. So, okay, some really kind of noob questions from my side. Okay. So just bear with me. Do you ever ski?
I have skied before. I wouldn't say I can ski, but like if you put me at the top of the mountain, I'll make it down and I'll be fine.
That's what I said too. Whether I tumble, roll, or scoot,
Yeah.
I'm getting down the mountain.
Yeah.
That's funny. So I'll tell you a funny story. The first time I ever snowboarded was, I won't give you the year, but it was a long time ago. And I competed in this competition in Italy. And our team did very poorly at this competition. So we got cut early. So we had like 3 extra days where no one was competing on the team. And we had a chance to go snowboard or ski for the first time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, dude, I love snowboarding. Like, I want to go try this out. That looks like super fun. And it looks way more fun than skiing. So I put on all of us, our whole team. Like, by the way, none of us had the right gear. Like, I was wearing a t-shirt, okay? I didn't have any glasses or goggles. I knew nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I was a 15-year-old with like a half a brain left. And I went out there and number one, it was so hard. Number two, I somehow broke the bindings to my board.
Oh, that would be difficult.
I know. I broke out of the board somehow, and the board like got away from me, and so the only like memory I have is like me running after my board, trying to get my board because the board was going down the mountain, and it started to slope over into this other left side, which I was specifically told at the top of the mountain that I should not go into. Because they were doing a downhill race,
Perfect.
it's like a super G race. My board gets onto the actual race, and I'm like flailing my arms, and these guys are like screaming, like, "Why do you get off of the track?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm sorry." Anyway, so besides like my ridiculous inability to snowboard, I also found out very quickly that I did like 3,000 push-ups that day because I fell so many times and pushed myself up. The next day, not only could I not see because I think I had blinded myself from looking at the sun all day with no sunglasses, my triceps were completely shredded. So that was my only, I was not a cross-sport athlete. That's why I have so much respect for what you
I
do.
mean, snowboarding, I feel like if you don't have the right equipment and you don't like have someone to kind of help you.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's because I didn't have the right equipment.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you, B.
didn't.
Thank you. Thanks for the
You
love.
didn't have
That's
a
right.
jack. You didn't have anything. Like you were just braving
That's
the
right.
elements and nothing. So I'm surprised. That's you
right.
did better than I would expect if you had no gear, no like no equipment. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I almost got kicked off 86 from the mountain for life. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Walk me through, like, what does a perfect day look like for you when you perform your best? I ask everyone this because everyone has a little bit different answer. But for you, just walk me through, like, what is the thing that you do the day of, the morning of, leading up into when you go and do your performance?
Well, I try to keep it the same every day, and I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure you have your own routine before competing, training, that whole situation. Try to replicate the exact same thing that I do, obviously, for training and competition. I'll eat the same thing for breakfast every day, warm up in the same order, take the same amount of practice runs. And I think what I've learned recently is that sometimes I perform my best when that doesn't happen or when something goes wrong in this little routine.
Oh.
And I was always so, which is like,
Okay.
sounds so counterintuitive and like just sounds like it doesn't make sense at all. But I was always so focused on this routine and I relied so heavily on it to perform well. And in my mind, it was like, okay, I have this routine set. I'm going to perform well today. That's how it goes. They equal each other. But yeah, I don't know. The routine has been tossed around a little bit in these past few training camps that I've had and had some really good training days just because I've had to kind of think on my feet a little bit and I have had to adapt and say, take a breather, sit down and say, okay, this morning or, these past few runs did not go how I want them to go. And I say, okay, I'm just going to go back to my basics. That's all I'm going to focus on. And then I end up having the best training day of my whole camp. So that was a bit of a long-winded answer. But
no, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you're dynamic. You perform well when things are kind of speed bumps thrown away. Well, I can promise you that when you go to the Olympics, nothing usually goes to plan. That's like the one plan that you can remember.
Yeah.
Every Olympic Games I ever went to, every single race, it was always some weird surprise that actually has never happened before outside of the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then even the races themselves, they never unfold like a typical race that I would have. I race against these guys dozens and dozens of times, and someone has a new strategy. There's always some weird thing that happened. So it's good. You're basically performing. And these are like life lessons, right? These are things that when you leave the sport, at some point in your life, you'll realize that you can have a general plan, and it's really good to be planned and to have preparation. At the end of the day, it only matters in terms of how you are malleable, dynamic, and change and shift, how you can be flexible. Because when pressure is there and, it's just like all kinds of stuff that happens. So that's cool to hear.
Yeah.
Talk about the equipment.
The equipment that you did not have when you went.
The equipment that I almost lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, equipment. So we've got our boards, boots, bindings, and for me, boots are like my nemesis because you have to break them in the beginning of the season, which is awful, and your feet hurt and your ankles hurt and you feel like you don't know how to snowboard. And then you get them to like a solid place where you're like, okay, they feel perfect. This is great. And then you're continuing to wear them. So they're breaking in even more and more and more. And then, we've got just our basic snow clothes and pants, jacket, outerwear, outer layers, goggles, helmet, gloves. But like a big thing for me, I always like my temperature is always like up and down and fluctuating. So I'm like throwing on layers before runs and before dropping into competitions. And my bag is like ginormous because I've got like a giant jacket in it or like a tiny sweatshirt that I'm going to like throw on before I go. So yeah, equipment is a big one for us, especially because we kind of have to brave the elements out there. And that's another thing that is always unpredictable in snowboarding. I feel like it's a big factor that not a lot of sports have because like speed skating, you get to do indoors. We've got to deal with the wind, lighting, snow conditions, snow falling from the air, sometimes rain. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out in Italy.
Yeah. When you say the boots, right? Like,
yes.
the boots now is like a blend of like plastic, hard plastic, and carbon fiber. Like, what is the boot made out of?
It's made out of like rubber, like it has a rubber sole. And
Right.
I should probably know this, but I don't. It's not it's like cloth material. It's not a hard boot like snowboard racers or skiers have. We don't have hard boots. Like you could stand in boots all day long, in snowboard boots, and be fine. There's definitely like there's two parts of the boot. There's like an inner liner that you put in, and then an outside that kind of keeps it firm, and like you can strap your bindings against it and it'll hold its shape. Yeah, I don't know exactly what the material is. I probably should know that. But there's two like different type of mechanisms that a lot of boots have. They either have like a BOA system, which is like you twist it like on the back of helmets a lot. So you either have that or like strings that you can pull, and you can like, I wear the strings because I find I can adjust it to my foot better, just because instead of like a clip on the binding, it's like, okay, I can pull this one tighter. But everybody has their own preferences. It's so specific to the person.
Yeah. You know, in when I was competing, I had a pair of boots that I loved. Mm-hmm. Our boots are custom molded around our feet. It's a blend of Kevlar, carbon fiber, and leather.
Oh, wow.
And on the bottom of these like two plates, like underneath the sole of the foot and the heel of the foot, that's where these titanium plates are basically glued in place. Uh-huh. And then there's these screw entries that we use. That's what bolts the blade to the boot.
Got it.
And the boot is really important because that's where your body weight is, right? Are you too forward, are you too far back? And my whole career, almost 20 years, I had one pair of boots that I loved, and I retired them halfway through my career. So I skated the last half of my career on boots that they worked, but I didn't like love them.
Yeah.
They felt very restrictive. So when you talk about like boots that break down, the reason why I didn't use the old boots is because I used them so much, they broke down to a degree where they no longer were giving me the support.
Exactly.
So I can totally relate to what you're saying.
Which is interesting because for us, for me, I ride a new pair of boots every season. So I'm breaking in a new pair at the start of every season. And I think definitely some people and the average person could ride boots like more than one season. Yeah. And so it's interesting to hear that in speed skating, you can skate one pair of boots for that long. Yeah. I
mean, some athletes skate on one pair of boots their almost whole career. I mean, there are some athletes that do that. I wish I was like that because the feel that I had from like the first, 5 to 7 years of my career I felt like, you ever had this time when you're riding and you're like, this is actually what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
And some days I don't get this. Sometimes I feel a bit disconnected or I'm off or just something feels off. But like when I put those boots on, it was almost like it was like a sock. Like it wasn't like a different part of my foot. It felt so natural. And I miss that. Dude, that's like the best feeling in the world is like feeling like so connected.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I wish that could be me. If you asked, and breaking in boots is my greatest nightmare. Like I hate it so much because I try to like do it before I get on snow a little bit and like go in the pool with them, like soak them in water and like step on them, wear two pairs of socks, try to
heat?
Take them in.
What about heat?
Heat works
Can you heat them up?
Well, but that outer shell is what's really stiff. So when you first put a pair of boots on, like the boots that I wear, I can't like bend my shin forward. Whereas
this is just like speed skating. Yeah. This is the same.
Yeah.
This is the same like problems. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, then it's awful. And then it's like you have to ride them to get the breaking in. But those days where you're riding them and they're brand new, you're just like, oh, I do not want to be here. My feet hurt so bad. Very jealous of you to only do one or two pairs for a whole career. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't be that jealous because I fought my equipment for a long time. It was like a big, big battle. Is there anything special that you do to the bottom of the board? I mean, I know you wax the board and such, but is there anything specific that is individual to you that other athletes don't do? Or is it all everyone do the same thing?
No, everyone pretty much does the same thing. And there's rules with our governing bodies of like what you can put on your board. Of illegal substances or things that are bad for the environment have recently been crack down on, which is really
Oh,
good.
interesting.
Yeah, because, you're riding on snow and that snow will eventually melt and run off into nature. And so trying not to have the most toxic chemicals helps. But the stuff
And that's like, hold on, that's like super important to you, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why I say that. And why is that super important to you?
Well, like I was saying, we didn't have a test event for these upcoming Olympics, and that's due to lack of snow, and that is all due to climate change. And winter is slowly disappearing, and it's a big fear of mine that in the future I won't be able to take my kids, grandkids, that future generations won't be able to experience winter, or winter outside at least, because I know your winter was kind of a bit different, but it's given me a lot and it means a lot to me, and I want other people to be able to have those same experiences. So talking about climate change, bringing, educating people on it and just kind of breaking the stigma around the conversation is a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that. That's like very important to use your platform and your voice, as a lot of younger people are going to look up to you, just like you did to Chloe and Maddie when you were in Pyeongchang. There's a lot of others that are looking to you that are much younger that are saying like, oh my God, B is like amazing. Look at what she stands for. Like, I too believe in these things. So that's how you enact real change, right? Is like you communicate effectively and properly about things you're passionate about, and the mountain is your home, and that's a result of what nature gives us. So, look, I've lived in Colorado, I've lived in Utah, lived in upstate New York, I've spent time in Chicago and Marquette, Michigan. So I'm very familiar with the cold. I miss the cold. I live in Miami now, which is very weird for a speed skater. The only ice you have there is like the ice they bring in your drink.
Yeah.
It's like Miami is like, everywhere is like deep house music and Latin music, and there's like just no speed skating rinks anywhere. Maybe I can change that.
Yeah, I feel like you could have some influence on that.
Yeah. I think there's probably some untapped talent, right, in Latin America, because they don't typically do winter sports. I feel like there's an amazing talent pool there.
It takes a lot of time, energy, money to get out onto the slopes. I mean, you can spend thousands of dollars before you even step foot on the actual snow. And I don't know if it's the same for speed skating, but it's a privilege to be able to get to snowboard and to be able to get to train and have the opportunities to go to the mountain. And I think for a lot of winter sports, or some winter sports, it's kind of the same situation where it's not like you get to just go out into your backyard and kick a soccer ball around or run across the street and shoot your basketball.
I can relate
a lot more, and it's definitely a lot trickier. Like you said, I mean, how many speed skating rinks do they have in Miami? It's tricky.
That's right. There's not many. Sometimes I just put on a Batman suit and I go to the Woolman rink in New York and just knock down kids, and then they just don't know it's me.
Just go bowling. You knock the kids
kidding.
down.
Yeah. Get out of my way. I haven't put on ice skates properly in a very long time. I've been retired for a long time, but I'm super excited to watch you compete. You're young, you're hungry, you're good. One last question, okay? If you could describe your style in terms of how you perform, what would that be?
So my personal style is, I obviously try to make it look like, and sometimes it doesn't end up looking like that, but especially during competitions, I would hope that people, judges, audience, everyone is saying that it looks very calm, that I look almost sleepy, effortless. Obviously, that's all the things that you would want to say. Yeah, sleepy. Like, doesn't look like you're trying super hard. It just looks like it's coming easy, and you've got that flow, and everything is just clicking, and you're able to just stand on your board and snowboard, and you look like a snowboarder, and it doesn't look like you're forcing anything is kind of jerky movements, anything like that. So sleepy, I would hope.
Effortless, maybe effortless.
So sleepy maybe isn't the best. I think I don't want people to think I'm sleeping in the half pipe, but effortless.
I used to yawn before I raced.
Well, that's what they say about like people in the Navy and stuff. They'll take naps before they go out on the battlefield or before they go out and do a mission, because they're able to be in such a calm state that their brain just shuts off. And then when they're out there, they're not frantic and making rash decisions. So makes sense.
You know why? I'll tell you the reason why, because I used to study this.
Yeah.
So the sleep and wake state is this really beautiful kind of line that gets blurred. And that's actually the closest thing to both being in a dream, lucid dreaming, and also being in flow state, where your mind is activated, but it's not overreactive. You're almost like functioning in the state where it's like very fluid and it seems effortless. Like in speed skating, we call it loosening the grip, right? Where you're going like 95 to 98%. You're never going 100% flat out. Because when you go 100%, we tend to tense up and restrict ourselves. And when we restrict ourselves, we come up out of the body position and we no longer put the power into the ice. And so those that are like really good, like almost like a puppet, right? Like if you have like strings on, it's like this. Anyway, I don't know if you guys do that. All right, so look, the US has been, and arguably one of the most dominant out of all the winter sports. The talent level is so high, the innovation and tech and ability to reinvent themselves with every 4 years that comes by. And I feel like it's happening every year where these things are getting more difficult. How do you think about that, both in terms of legacy and also how far can you push the envelope? Do you feel like there's more to give there?
There's always more to give, I think. It's definitely a question recently in snowboarding of how far does it go? How many flips can you add? How many spins can you do? But like for me, representing the US is the biggest honor. It's like you said, the history of sports in general, regardless of the Olympics, of winter, summer, the history of sports in the US is undeniably the best. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased. So to be able to be kind of in this legacy, hopefully, even just a small, tiny part of it means so much. My grandparents were not born in the US. They immigrated here. And so now to be able to say, hey, look, guess what I get to do? Guess what flag I get to wear on my shoulder, is pretty special. And that's, I think, also what's so special about the US is, and US sports regarding the Olympics and Winter Games, is they never question what can't be done. They always are thinking, we can do it. We can totally do it. We got it. It's not a question. We
got the sixth gear, baby. When everybody else got five, we got six.
Exactly. So that's
the American way.
Exactly. It's very special to have that kind of behind me and knowing that that's all there. I don't think it's ever a question.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
You're so mature for 18 years old. When I was your age, I was not this mature. I could barely spell my name on paper, even when I was told it in the IFB. So you have an amazing future ahead of you. I am. And you're also going to be going to Columbia, which is awesome.
Thank
you. She's got beauty, she's got brains, she's got bronze, she's got all the package, style, finesse. Dude, you are going to rock it.
Thank you so much.
Super excited for you, B. And keep it going. We'll see you soon.
Cool. Thank you.
Mac Forehand, welcome to Making Team USA. Dude, I got tons of questions for you. I know that you, first off, the videos that you have all over YouTube are insane. Before we started having this conversation, I was looking at some of the more recent stuff, even some of the stuff that you did in the past 5 years of all this footage that you guys put together with music and creativity. Number one, I don't know who the hell is always there recording and filming you, but that's amazing. Because in speed skating, dude, we do not get that chance. We do, but it's just, this is like us. We just go like this with the camera over and over again. It's just the same circle over and over. It's not really exciting. But you guys do some really cool stuff. You do things that are, when you go and record, you do stuff that's not even associated with what you do competitively. We're talking about stuff that's I feel like someone dropped you out of a heli ski opportunity and you went down and you're this stuff is crazy.
No, for sure. Luckily with free skiing, we get to do a lot of filming and there's a huge creative aspect to it. It's not just competition. So, we have a lot of creative mindset with it. And a big part of free skiing is going out and filming video parts and kind of what skateboarders do when they go hit rails in the streets and stuff. But for us, it's in the backcountry and going out on snowmobiles deep into the backcountry and building jumps. And it's a long, long process. And over the past 2 years, a buddy a buddy of mine, Jack Price, who is like, I guess, my filmer and editor at this point. We made a video together called Duo that we just released on YouTube.
That's the one I watched.
And
that's the one I watched.
Yeah, Duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just came out. And it's like my first ever solo backcountry project. I have done projects before with like sponsors and stuff. With Faction Skis is a good sponsor of mine. So I've done videos with them, but this is just on my own, fully. We're figuring out where we're going to go next, where the budget's coming from and whatnot. And no, it was really cool, a really fun experience. And like, that's what I love so much about free skiing. It's not just competing. We're going out and we're filming and we're trying to get clips. And it's a huge process, honestly, like building jumps and it takes tons of tries to get these tricks that we're doing done. And then, yeah, it's really, really fun. And I definitely am loving it right now.
Well, you should be proud of it. It turned out like really well. I mean, some of those shots they're spectacular, man. It makes me want to jump onto a mountain and learn. And I feel like you guys have like the Willy Wonka golden ticket for any ski location on the planet. Is that like true? Like, do you guys have like basically carte blanche access to everywhere in the world?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty lucky with our like competition schedule. We go to pretty cool places. Like I'm in Austria right now in this place called Stubai, which is right by Innsbruck. And it's our first event of the season. We do a training camp here for 2 weeks before, and then we have our contest, and it's like the views are spectacular. We're at like 3,000 meters way up high on a glacier, and you see the Dolomites from where we are. You see Italy from where we are. It's spectacular, and we get to go to the coolest places in the world, and it's a lucky competition schedule. I know, like in surfing, they call theirs like the Dream Tour or whatever, and it's kind of like we almost have the Dream Tour as well.
The Dream Tour,
for sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Look, big air and slope style, both very different. But which one is your favorite and why?
I think for me, I've gotten this question asked a bunch of times, and like I don't really know. I always say that like slope style is a lot more like focused, takes time. It's a lot of like effort because it's a bunch of features in a run. You have to like go from start to finish. But in big air, it's just one big jump, and you kind of have to like get hyped, and like that feeling is kind of hard to beat as well. And for big air, it's usually like at night and there's a huge crowd and it's one jump, and for the public to understand it's a lot easier. So it like makes it just the experience a lot more fun. But I don't know. I still like both just as much the same, I think. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, when I'm doing well in big air, I like big air. When I'm doing well in slopestyle, I like slopestyle. But if I could do well in both, like that's kind of the goal.
Yeah. I love them both. I mean, they're both unique and powerful. I love, obviously, the big crowd. You guys compete at this really cool... I was talking to B. Kim earlier today. She was talking, and I was telling her, I was like, how all of these incredible sports like yours, you guys compete at this level where it's this cross intersection of like culture and music and style and like extreme competition. It's like right there in the center. It's really cool, man. Like, you guys do some cool stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's cool too. Like, we're all pushing the sport as hard as we can nowadays. Like, the big air competitions are just absolutely insane, and the level of skiing is like at the top it's ever been. And then if someone lands a trick that's like competing against you, and everyone's going crazy at the top, like all the athletes, like we're all just like, that was insane. Like, how did he land that? Like, that's crazy. And everyone's kind of just like hyped for each other. And obviously there's a huge level of competition. And like, when there are like the top guys, the top 3, 4, 5 guys, like they all have tricks that can do really well. And they're all like kind of wanting to edge each other out of that top spot. But you're still like really hyped to see like the progression on the level it's never been this high before. So it's really cool to see that and be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know the early beginnings for you were in Stratton, Vermont. Where do you spend most of your time now?
So I moved out of Vermont when I was 18. I moved to Utah. So I live in Park City, Utah now. That's where the U.S. ski team headquarters is. So I spend like my entire summer in the gym there, and all of our training facilities are up there. So I'm there like most of summer. But my parents are in Connecticut now. So I'm there a lot. Just kind of hanging with them as well. I actually grew up in Connecticut, and then I moved to Vermont to go to high school there. There's at the ski academy called Stratton Mountain School. So like we could go to school and ski 5 days a week, pretty much the whole. It was pretty lucky to be part of that as well. Like just go to school in the afternoon and ski all morning and do that as much as I could, and I like contribute a lot of my success to them as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Park City's home now.
Park City is a great place. You know, we got the 2034 Olympic Games locked down. They'll be coming back to Park City and Salt Lake City.
Yep.
My first games were in 2002, man, believe it or not. They were a long time ago in Salt Lake City. That's when I first competed. But Utah knows how to throw big sports events, and they know how to throw the Olympics. They do a really good job. So that's cool.
I'm
You're
excited
there.
to watch that one. I don't think I'll be doing that. I'll be a little bit too old, I think, for my sport, but I'll probably
You never
watch it
know,
for
man.
sure.
You never know.
Maybe.
You know?
I think I'll be like 35, which I don't think anyone in our sport is that old right now.
Hey, man, we're breaking boundaries. The way the AI is
are.
going, we're going to regenerate those knees and hips, and you're going to be like you're 20 again.
Yeah. Definitely.
Talk to me about the 2022 Olympics, your experiences, and then what you learned.
Yeah, I had a really good time, even though it was kind of in the middle of COVID and I guess towards the end of COVID, and like it was just kind of like we were all locked down, so it wasn't quite the Olympic experience that I wanted to have, but I still had like an amazing time. I met so many athletes like in the cafeteria, and I still hear people talk about like how the cafeteria at the Olympics is like so special because you get to meet all these athletes from different countries. And I took the pin trading pretty seriously. I got a ton of pins. I like have them all hung up now. So that was like a big, like in my pastime when I was there, which we had a lot of it, I was getting pins. But yeah, it was really fun. I didn't get to compete as well as I wanted to, obviously. I mean, I wanted to take home a medal. It's everyone's goal is to take a medal home. And I think I got to let the pressure kind of get to me. And we had big air first, and I made finals there, which was really awesome. But then in finals, it didn't go my way. And then going into slopestyle, I just had a ton of pressure. And I didn't really I think I just tried to make like the hardest run possible in slopestyle for myself. And I had a bad time just trying to like make it hard for myself. And I think now that going into the next one, like I'll play it a lot smarter if I make the team. Like I know what I'm doing now, and I like have so much more experience under my belt. And like just to make the final is one thing. And then when you make the final, it's a whole other event. So just take it step by step. And yeah, hopefully I get to make it this time. I want to go to Italy really badly.
Yeah, well, we want to see you in Italy too. And what does that qualifying process look like for you?
So we have 5 qualifying events before the Olympics, starting actually this week on Wednesday. Is our our first day of training for our first World Cup of the season. So we'll have one in Dubai, Austria, and then we go to China. We'll have one at Secret Garden Resort in China, and then from there we'll go home for a week, and then we'll have a Steamboat Big Air in Steamboat, Colorado. Then Christmas, a little bit of a break, and then we'll have an Aspen World Cup at the slopestyle event, and then we'll have the Switzerland World Cup in Loch, Switzerland, and those are the 5 that will help you qualify in. And it's a clean slate this year for our whole team, so whoever does the best this year on our team will make those spots, and we already have 1 person qualified, so there's 3 more spots left, and just the top results this year will make the team for these next 5 events.
Got it. Sounds like a consistency game more than anything, right?
Definitely.
I mean, just showing up, getting those points, they're really important.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and just like I think for me, like a consistent top 5 would be like huge. Like that's what I want. Like that's my goal, is just to get top 5 at all the events. And if I can like get a podium in there at some point, because our team is really competitive. So we're going to have podiums at one of those 5 events easily. Yeah. So just to like get top 5 and like maybe a couple podiums would be awesome.
And do you guys train together, like as a team, as a unit?
Yep. We're all actually here together right now. We just did a big Thanksgiving dinner with the whole team, actually, like right before this phone call, because we're going to be in China for Thanksgiving, and we're not going to have like a kitchen to cook. So we just the whole team did a big Thanksgiving. Everyone made food on their own, but yeah, we all train together. We're all super good friends. Like everyone is the best friends. We all like kind of grew up skiing together, so it's a really good team dynamic.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, the culture of what you do is very unique. You know, I think all these new sports and getting creative and keeping your mind open to having the creativity. How important is it for you now to think about pushing that envelope, right? I mean, I was talking to B about that around innovation in the sport and then the boundaries that you're constantly pushing. There's always like a boundary and risk profile. Like, how do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely like hard to want to push the competitiveness of it, because we're all like super competitive. Like even with like when it comes to anything on our team, like everybody wants to like beat each other, but also like we're all such good friends. So it's definitely like a fine line of like trying to balance that. But we never let it get to like in the heads of each other. Like we never try to let it get ahead of each and one another. Like we want it to be we all having fun. We're all
That's
like
cool.
living the life. We all just dreamt of being professional skiers our entire childhood, and now we're doing it. So this is like what we want to do, and we just no one's rivals. No one's like yelling at each other about like how they're doing at events. Like we'll have arguments about like fantasy football, and that's about it. But nothing like serious, and we're all just trying to like make it together. So
Oh, I like that.
obviously, there's only 4 spots, and there we have 7 guys on our pro team, and then we have 2 rookies this year on like the younger team that are in like the World Cups as well. So like technically 9 people qualifying for those next 3 spots. So it's definitely it's tight for sure, but we're all good friends.
That's the reality, man. Like you live and train as a unit. It's Team USA, become like, brothers and sisters wherever you are. And then you got to compete. And there's only a certain amount of slots that actually get awarded to go and compete. And that's just, that's what creates the competition side. So I can totally relate to that. I want to know about what your prep game is all about, right? The days that make you feel your best. I want to get into your head. Walk me through. I'm in your brain. It's the day of. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are the things that we know that we got to do that make me feel good? And what are the things that I block out?
Are we talking like day of Olympic slopestyle final?
Yeah, man.
What I'm doing?
Yeah,
or
like this is, dude. This is Mac. He's in the finals. This guy's got a chance. He's gonna has a chance to win gold. What is going through your mind, bro? Like, what's going through? What's happening?
So I guess if we're gonna start like from the beginning, I like am a huge breakfast person. Like I have to eat a big breakfast. So like I'm talking like eggs, avocado toast, like maybe even like an egg veggie scramble, and then like yogurt bowl with fruit and like all the goodness on it to start the day. And then definitely a coffee, like a cappuccino is like my go-to every morning. So that's like the beginning of the day. But then I guess getting into it, like I love having music in. Not when I ski, like a lot of my friends ski with music, but I like to warm up with it in. But I won't ski with it. It kind of bothers me a little bit. So just like put in the earbuds, kind of start warming up a bit, like stretching, keeping active, kind of like not trying to think about it too much, but like just kind of know what I have to do and like know what my runs need to like progress on from qualifying and stuff. But yeah, just kind of trying to keep a cool head. Like slopestyle is so easy to get in your head about. So just like I need to be calm, collective, don't stress too hard. If I'm thinking of trying to change my run, something crazy, I'll talk to my coaches and like kind of go over with them, like what's worth the risk. I haven't done this yet, but should I try it in training or like should I just stick with what I know? So kind of like just a good balance of like, it's like a big thought process of like what you need to get done and what like you shouldn't overthink. But yeah, I guess before the run, I have been doing this thing the past couple of years where I feel like I never really had a ritual before I dropped in. It was kind of just like, all right, like fist bump my coach and like go,
just go wing it.
But the past couple of years I've been like giving my coach a fist bump, like double fist bump at the top. And then I step down a little bit from them, close my eyes, do 2 big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And once the second breath is done, I open my eyes and I'll just click my poles and drop. And it's kind of like the routine I've been doing for the past 4 years now. And I like it a lot. It's just like consistency. And that's what I really enjoy. But yeah, then hopefully land the run of my dreams and get out of there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely like a lot goes into it. It's not just that, but that's as much as I can explain to you.
I can relate, man. There's, everyone has their own routine and process. Being in that flow state where things are just happening and it's like time slows down, that's like a very addictive. That's why I feel like when sports is at its best is we're in this state where stuff's just happening. And like, it's just, everything's like automatic. And someone's like, do you know what just happened? I don't even know what just happened. I just did it. Right. It's just,
yeah. And the nerves are like unlike anything else on this planet. Like the nerves you get before dropping into a run, like you don't feel that anywhere else. It's like horrible. It's the worst feeling ever. But also like when you get past that and you land the run of your dreams and you do well, you win or whatever, like that feeling is also like, you're never going to achieve it doing anything else as well. So it's that shitty feeling at the top is worth it.
Yeah, man, it's that's what sports is. I mean, when you in 15 years or whenever you decide to step away competitively, It's really hard to replicate that.
Yeah,
You can get
definitely.
close, but sports is that, especially for you, right? Like you guys are the perfect blend of high performance and also consequence. Like I was talking to someone else about this. If you don't land appropriately, looking at like your injury, right?
Yeah,
Your arm,
yeah,
your thumb,
yeah.
same
This guy
thing.
right here. Yeah,
And that's what I think helps you slip into this like hyper-focused, pupil-dilated state where you have to go and be 100% on point. Because even like an
yeah,
inch off delay or too early changes everything, right? The dynamic.
yeah, definitely. Like injuries are so prone in our sport too. Like the smallest mistake and you can get really hurt. But luckily, we all are really good at what we're doing, and like we've put in hours and countless hours of training and visualization and done the steps, the proper steps to get there. And yeah, we're all there. And like nowadays, like if you have a little mistake in a big trick, like most of the time you can save it. Most of the time, but
Really?
sometimes
That's cool.
you can't. Yeah, I mean, if you like have a mistake on the takeoff of a jump or in the air or something like that, like you can usually be like, oh, that wasn't right, and like either like hold on for dear life and hopefully get to your feet, or like kind of open up in the middle of the trick. Opening up is like you stop the rotation of the trick kind of midair, and like hopefully you can get to your feet too. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's like a
Yeah.
different language.
Talk to me about
Yeah,
some of these tricks, right? Like,
yeah,
is it a combination of like athlete-led innovation in combination with judges? Like, how do you guys come up with some of this stuff? Because some of these things, I'm like, number one, who came up with that name? And also, like, who was the first guy or girl to do that? Because that's insane.
yeah. No, it's definitely like a lot of it has like come down to like progression over the years. Like our sport is relatively new. Like free skiing was only really invented uh late 90s, early 2000s, I want to say. Like,
Right.
and it's like these tricks have developed kind of like from mogul skiing and like aerial skiing, but like it's the more of like a creative mindset that goes into it instead of like them being like, oh, this is the trick that gets this number, that's the score. It's like you kind of like can put your own little flavor in it, and that's kind of like how judges can score it. But yeah, I guess like the progression has changed from like I guess there was a switch rodeo 7 in the early 2000s. Well, that's one of the trick names we do, which where you take off backwards and, or I guess I'll say a switch cork 7. So you take off backwards and you do like a switch 720. So a backwards 720, landing backwards again, and like one flip. And then you also be grabbing your skis, where we have like, you have names for grabs, like mute grabs, nose grab, Japan grab, tail grab. Like there's so many different names. I know that you like, it sounds like a different language, but to me it's like second nature at this point. But yeah, the progression goes from like switch cork 720, and now the top trick will be a switch triple cork 2160. So like that's the development over
What?
like 25 years of how much it's changed. And it's only getting more and bigger. And I guess to explain it, a switch triple cork 2160 is you take off backwards, you do 3 flips, and you're also grabbing your ski, and you spin, I think it's like 6 times around or 7 times around,
That's
and then you land
insane.
back again, and then you ski out. So
That's
it's like,
like so
yeah,
insane.
the terminology just kind of like gets crazier with the progression of the sport. But yeah, I think when it comes to judging too, like you asked, they try to be as unbiased as possible. And with our sport, you want to look good, and like looking good is like we call having good style. So it's like style can be like having your own kind of like flavor on a trick, like why the trick looks different, like the way you do the grab, the way you rotate the spin, the way you flip or come out, or the like the axis is you're on, which is like the way you're flipping.
Yeah.
So it's just like about kind of like having that difficulty and style aspect combined together, and that's kind of like what the judges can like base it onto. But a lot of it has difficulty. Like you look at something and you go, "That was hard. Like that looked hard. That was hard." It's like you get a good score, kind of.
And at what point, just so I'm assuming the spring, summer training, all of you are jumping into the pool?
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
used to be in the pool. I grew up in the pool in Lake Placid, New York. But we have this new thing called, it's an airbag. So it's this big, like when we go off jumps, we land on landings, and the airbag is this like big inflatable airbag that's like, it's huge, and it weighs like tons and tons of pounds. And uh, it's downhill. So you jump off this like ramp, same what the aerial skiers do, into like a downward airbag. And that kind of for us is like it translates a bit better than the pool.
Wow.
But there's still a pool. Like people do it for like beginners and stuff, but we're on the airbag now, and it's a little bigger too, so it helps us get the tricks around that we need to do.
So you can experiment without like wrecking your knees and hips more frequently.
Yeah, yeah. You can land
Back.
on your head on the airbag and be completely fine.
Wow.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big innovation. I mean, before you only had probably a short window of places where you were even able to go train and do this type of stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. And since the like invention of the airbag, the level has increased like tenfold. We would not be where we are today without the airbag, and it's a good thing and a bad thing because the sport has progressed so fast, and you can only push the limits so far. And like, but the airbags, people are like learning these crazy tricks that like once you take it to snow and you don't land properly, like you're gonna really, really hurt yourself. And we're spinning so much nowadays. Like, there's not much more we can do with like the spin count. Like, we're kind of maxing out at this point. So it's definitely progressed it a lot. I think we would have had the progression a lot slower, but it's cool to like kind of be a part of it. And like, I don't know, it's fun. The airbagging is so fun. I love it. In the summer, it's like you get to put your skis on and go ski in 90-degree heat in Utah, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what is tell me about the mental side of the business that you're in, sir. Like the mind game, right? I mean, obviously the visualization is a really critical piece for those that are watching, especially for a sport like yours. I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mac, like because your sport is so dangerous and because these tricks are so extreme, your visualization repetition is probably very high frequency, meaning you're doing this a lot to try to replicate as many practice runs as you can in here, right?
Yeah, no, repetition is key. And like when it comes to like set like tricks that you're learning to develop into a bigger trick, you just need to like do those earlier tricks as much as you possibly can. Like repetition is going to help you at skiing. You got to do what you're doing a million times over to really recognize it and to really like understand what's happening. And also to like, I grew up on a trampoline, and like a lot of us grew up like trampolining, and you develop this thing, we call it air awareness. So it's knowing where you are in the air, like where exactly you are, and like know where the landing is, know where the takeoff is, kind of know where you are in the flip. And you develop that over a certain amount of time. And like a huge part of that is, for me at least, was with trampolining, and like learning tricks in the trampoline when I was younger. And it takes a long time. Like I first got on a trampoline when I was probably 9 years old, and like I like developed such a good air awareness pretty quickly, but that's because I did it a lot too. And like you really can learn a lot just from like repetition and like doing that on a trampoline like that. But that being said, when you start doing something really big, like a switch triple cork 2160,
it sounds so crazy.
You're not doing that a lot. You're not like the repetition is low there, but the mental game, you're like, you've replayed that trick in your head a million times, and you know what's going to happen almost like before you do it, which is kind of cool. And like, you can kind of like understand what's happening before anything, like kind of just right when you're going off the jump, you can like tell in your mind, like, okay, I have this, or like, okay, I don't have this right now.
And what do you do? Yeah. Like, let's say you have a takeoff that's less than ideal, and you're doing like a big extreme trick, and you're halfway through the trick, and you're like, I'm uncertain if this is going to be able to be landed. What do you do? Like in that moment, what do you do? You got like fractions of a second to make a decision.
So you either like, say you're feeling like say the rotation of the trick is feeling slow, like which means you're not moving as fast as you'd like to be. You can let go of the grab you're trying to grab and like grab both your knees and like just like kind of be like, all right, I'm going in. Like I'm either going to land on my feet, or like I'm going to like just kind of like be in a ball on the landing and hopefully ski out of it. Or a lot of people, what they do is they get scared in the air, and instead of tucking into a ball and trying to go to your feet, which is kind of like the right thing to do,
right?
They'll open up, and then they'll do like 1 3/4 or 2 3/4 flips, and you land on like your side. So sometimes you can open up in the trick and like get to your feet if you like really open up. Like we call it stretching. Like you make your body as big as you can. You open up your legs and your arms, and you just like hopefully slow your rotation down enough to get to your feet. Or you tuck, where like you tuck into a ball and try to rip it around for another flip or another spin to get to your feet. So there's different ways you can do it, but you have to decide like you said, in a millisecond in the middle of the air, or you kind of know on takeoff, like on the
Yeah.
lip of the jump, on the very end of the jump, you're like, no, like, oh, I'm not gonna get there, or oh, I'm gonna
It's
go
so
too much.
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's definitely like a lot of just repetition and like developing over time.
I feel like you guys would be really good gymnasts. You know,
Well,
LA28
I
is
tell
not
you,
too far
yeah.
away, my friend.
I did do like trampoline tumbling when I was younger too. A lot of like,
Okay.
not really everyone on my team, but like I know a lot of kids that like have done it
Dual
growing
sport,
up.
baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get through the first
I
one.
don't know.
The first one's the
I'm
first
not quite
priority.
Simone Biles yet. I don't think I'll get there.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I danced with Jordan Childs for Dancing with the Stars recently, and
Yeah.
that young woman is her mind body awareness is like those gymnasts are special human beings. They are just like
yeah.
every ounce of their body, every inch has like complete control and connection and strength. Like it's
Yeah.
so wild. Like every inch
Yeah.
of their, most of them are not very tall, right? Like she's short. I'm not very tall either, but she's shorter than me, which is hard to do, right? Let's be very clear. And because of that, I got to dance with her. And anyway, I love this stuff because we very rarely leave the ice. We're like right on top of the ice. We just go really fast.
Yeah.
And I've always loved it, like watching you guys and how you compete. It's so cool. The mental side is like fascinating to me. Like that's the place that I live, man. Like in my sport, the stuff that obviously I trained like a complete psychomaniac. I was like obsessed with every single square inch of possibility of extracting performance. But this right here was like the game changer. When this thing was there, and this was like my greatest asset and my worst enemy. It was also the world's strongest prison, right? It was right between my own 2 ears, that 6-inch space.
Yeah.
And so when things went well, it went well. And when things didn't go well, I had to manage that inner talk, that inner critic, that inner voice that was like, you're not good enough, whatever. You know how that game goes, right? Like the confidence stuff. And it's a big balance. I think that's especially when you get to a big World Championships, World Cup, Olympic qualifier, the Olympic Games, like the game is actually won here. It's not, your body everyone's kind of similar. It's here is where the real game changer is.
Yeah. I mean, all the magic happens in your brain for sure. Like it'll make or break you 100%. And yeah, it's a cool thing when you can control it, but when you like are feeling bad, it really can take over and like make you feel even worse. Like for example, this past week when I broke my thumb on Tuesday and then I got an X-ray and they're like, yeah, you have to get surgery. I went back to the US, got surgery, and it was like the nicest weather ever in Europe, and everyone is learning new tricks. And I was during our training camp, and like all the countries are here, and everyone's learning stuff. And like I'm stuck in a hospital bed, like on anesthesia, like ready to get my thumb chopped up and get some screws put in there. And like it takes you down like a pretty like bad path, but once you get back to that feeling of getting back and skiing again, and like getting and feeling good again, like your mind can just click and turn on, and then you're good to go. And it's pretty crazy how it can be like that.
Yeah. Injuries, man. This is my small piece of advice on the injury game is the following. Like stuff happens. You can either allow it to control your state, right? Your mind state, or you can use it as fuel to progress you forward. And I think like whenever there's something that happens that's not within your control or that you can't do anything about, right? That's that masterclass in stoicism. Now is like, all right, let me remove the emotions aside. Let's focus now on the mechanical steps. What do I got to do for recovery? What do I got to do for the visualization? What are the things that I can do to maximize my acceleration so that Mac shows up and I backhand everybody when it comes down time for the next trick, That's how, at least that's how I think about it, right? Because I think on one side, the one little devil on our shoulder is like, oh no, you're injured, things aren't going to go well, you screwed it up, you should just stay there. And the other side is like, no, man, like it doesn't matter. This is an opportunity to grow, to stretch, to be my best. Yes, it's less than ideal, but it doesn't matter. This is what's going to make me stronger. And I tell everybody this. You'll trade everything you have in 30 years, man, to be right in this moment right now. No matter how much pressure there is, like these are irreplaceable moments for you. So super pumped, man. This is
And I'm sure you've dealt with a bunch of injuries as well. Your guys' sport is gnarly. I watched it in Beijing. You're short track, right?
Yeah, short track, yeah.
Yeah. I watched short track in Beijing. we went to like a bunch of the short track races
Oh,
when we were
awesome.
there,
What'd you think,
and
man? It's fun, right?
it was so fun to watch. I had
Yeah.
never like I'd watched it obviously on the Olympics and stuff, but like, it was cool watching it in person. Like, you guys are gnarly. Like,
Yeah.
it gets crazy.
In person
People
is
are
better.
crashing out. Oh my god, it
Yeah.
is crazy. And like the relay
Yeah.
too is just like insane. People are like bumping into each other, pushing each other over, kind of like. I
Yeah.
mean, we watched a Korean guy like break his wrist, I think, when we were there, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't even know that that sport was like that. It's crazy. So I mean, you have the experience. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
gotten injured
Controlled
countless
chaos.
times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
Oh yeah. A lot of injuries, a lot of emotional injuries too. You know, that's
definitely.
where most of it happened. I mean, look, all sports are tricky and they're tough. The thing, man, that I love the most about the Olympic path is, I would say, there's like a sense of purity about it, right? It's like this. You know, like, you live in a sport where you guys are creating amazing content. You're obviously competing every single year. You're training. But in reality, for most of America, you're like living behind this curtain, right? And then all of a sudden, the first couple weeks of February, you rip that curtain open. And you're like, this is what I've been training my life for. This is it. And all of us are watching like, oh man, this dude's from Vermont, family lives in Connecticut. He's been training in Park City, had an injury early this year, cool, calm demeanor, tons of style. It's gonna do some crazy new trick. And we're all just like gripping because there's a sense of like pride that we have when we watch you compete, right? Like, you're representing obviously Team USA, which is like super cool, but also you're representing yourself. Like, this is your moment. And so I know specifically how hard it was to get to that place. And I know how much it means for you. And I know it's just awesome, man. It's like, these are irreplaceable moments in our lifetime. So yeah, I'm pumped for you.
And then like in China, I was like, it's over.
Like, that's it?
3 weeks. We're done. Like, what do I do now? Like, no, but I think that's what's so cool about our sport too, is like, yes, the Olympics it's huge, and like, you get to represent your country. You get selected with only 4 people out of the entire U.S. to go and represent it. But our sport, we have so many other things to look forward to as well. Like, after the Olympics, I'm going to go back on my snowmobile and go ski pow and go film and go into the backcountry and hopefully go. I want to go heli skiing in Alaska in April this year. So like, maybe we can go do that. And like, it's
That's
like
cool.
Those
Man.
are the kind of
That's
things
really
that like
cool.
you have to remember in free skiing. Like, and like, what I try to remind myself is like, this is really cool. This is really special. Like, cherish every moment. And if anything goes wrong, you still have other fun stuff to look forward to. Like, there's a whole other career ahead of this too. But the Olympics is it's a big deal. I'm pumped. Hopefully we can get there.
Yeah, this is your moment. Look, this is your chapter, your journey. We try to script these things out like as best we can, and the universe takes it the way that they best see fit, regardless of whether we can recognize what those lessons are in those moments. But make no mistake, these things are amazing, and we are super pumped to see you there. I got a couple more questions for you, man, just because I'm naturally curious. You're in this cool sport. You mentioned trampolining. Like, what sport? And I thought that you would do really well in gymnastics. I was like kind of half kidding. I kind of think that's still true. But like, what sport would you do if you didn't jump into what you're doing now?
I think you kind of nailed it on the head with gymnastics. I don't know if I like would necessarily be doing gymnastics, but I think that's like my best shot. I don't know what I would do. Maybe trampolining. Maybe like I've always thought the spring floor was kind of cool. Like, I don't know, but the Olympics for me, like, I don't know if there's anything else that really like matches what I do. I would do snowboarding too. Like, I love to watch snowboarding, but that's too similar to what I do. And then I played lacrosse in high school. So, and I know lacrosse is in the Olympics in LA. So maybe that too, but I still love it. I don't play anymore, but I loved it. So that could be a cool
multidisciplinary athlete. I love it. I love it. I love it. Have you ever been on skates, by the way?
I have like played hockey a little bit, and I've skated around, but I actually there was a girl, Kristen
Santos.
Forgot her last name. Kristen Santos. She's from Fairfield, Connecticut, which is where I grew up, where I was born.
That's right.
And I met her. I met her in the cafeteria at the Olympics. She like came up to me, and we were just chatting a little bit. And then I met a couple other short track speed skaters as well, and they were like, "You guys got to come to the rink in Provo and come join us one day." And
it's in Kearns. No, it's in Kearns.
Went up on that offer.
It's in.
It's in Kearns.
It's in Salt Lake. Yeah, it's in the.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's in the east side or west side. Yeah,
nice. Like, I gotta go check it out. Like, I never went, but Colby and Alex are also on my team. We were like going to the cafeteria every day, and like we met a bunch of speed skaters, and they were like, "You guys gotta come check out the track. Like, come, we'll get you on some skates." Although I don't know if I want to put knives on my feet. You guys have like, they're like huge skates.
Yeah,
the blades are so long.
It's fun. That's cool. You met Kristen. Yeah. She's a very good athlete. She's on the short track team. The cafeteria at the games is a really cool place, man. It's like the watering hole. It's where everyone kind of, and you know why it's so important for Olympic athletes, specifically for Winter Olympic athletes, is because it's so cold outside that when you come inside, you don't know who anybody is. And so they're taking all their heavy parkas off and their jackets and their Olympic gear. People are getting the food. And also it's like the one communal place where you meet the international athletes. You mentioned the pin trading stuff. There's like an annual or like I think there's an annual pin trading like conference. And I think it's heavily centered around the Olympics. You should look into that since you're like into pins.
I got to go to that. I mean, I got a lot of pins. Like I
like it.
And I thought that I could put all the pins on like my Team USA beanie that they gave me. And then I realized that they all like weigh a good amount. And my beanie is just falling over my eyes like the whole time when I'm putting them on my beanie. And I scrapped that idea pretty quickly.
You got to get, what the guys do is they have this thing, it almost looks like a bib, like a chef's bib. Yeah. Right? That's what it looks like. And you put it on and they've got like, I mean, these guys have been going to like Olympic Games since like the 40s, right? Like some of these guys are like, they have been collecting, they're hardcore. But that's how you start, because it's obviously got more surface area. And you can hear them because they're like,
get a bib now. Yeah.
Get a bib.
That's my next purchase, I think. Team USA bib. Yeah.
Team USA bib. Make sure it's big enough because, you're going to need a lot of pins.
Definitely. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, look, we're going to be cheering for you. Heal up, get yourself some good recovery. And keep that content coming, man. That stuff is prime. Yeah. That stuff is so good.
Thank you.
It's really good stuff.
We'll keep it coming.
Yeah, and man.
I think that we'll probably try to film a little bit more in the spring this year and release another video hopefully in the fall again. Maybe that makes them a little shorter, but yeah, I really want to do it again. It's so much fun. I love it so much, and it keeps me sane too. So
I just asked that you name a trick, the Apolo Ohno 880. The Apolo Ohno 888. That's what I want, whatever that is.
Apolo Ohno 888. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
All right, man. Matt, good luck. Thanks for taking the time, and we'll see you in Milano.
Yeah, thank you again. Have a good one, guys.
Two amazing athletes, B. Kim, Mac Forehand. They share a lot of similarities, two totally different sports. B was talking about the consistency. I mean, this young woman is smart. She's going to Columbia. She knows about the consistency. She grew up with these idols. Now she's going to be making the same teams. We've got Mac. This guy is cool. He's someone that you want to hang out with. He's incredible, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in such an extreme sport. Both of them focus on one thing that I noticed, and that's the mind game. B said a little bit around the consistency, and Mac was talking about a little bit about the consistency. So you're seeing a common theme here around what it takes to be great. I loved it. It's been incredible. And I keep learning about these people and the things that they do. I'm becoming an even bigger Olympic sports fanatic than ever before. I'll see you guys next week.